All right, hello and welcome to the third game of the Week 1 Season 4 NAGA Football League. Today is the Louisville Kings at the Oklahoma City Tornadoes. And two different philosophies of the offseason clashing here today on Week 1 to see whose is better and who has built their team for success. OKC did get a bit of a head start. Louisville coming out of nowhere, a potential dark horse candidate for playoffs. And of course, cannot forget to mention Mr. Jake Britton at quarterback now. So let's go ahead after we showcase that. And oh my goodness, OKC 70% chance winning, and all of the analysts and experts have OKC winning. My goodness, in a shootout and of course in two blowouts. Very wonderful. So we'll see how that all pans out. So we are here now at the Train Depot, home of the NAGA, and I do apologize for my Game 1 performance. My commentary not up to my standards. Unfortunately, when you have a headset on and there's a crowd noise going on, and you're also trying to be aware of some things going on in the office behind you, you are unable to recognize that the commentary that you believe is of the standard that you have set is not of that standard. So I will do my best to uphold my end of the bargain for you guys, have a standard of decent quality entertainment. Obviously, E is the standard, Pasta is the second standard, and of course, Pharaoh Trey Gaming, the third standard, and then there's me at the bottom. I am in the back. So we'll go ahead and start this off with a 4 wide receiver, 1 tight end set. Gilligan motion 87 out to the right. Back to pass. Gilligan pressure in his face. Triple coverage. Unable to get it to number, I believe that was 0. As I believe that could have potentially been Rashad Elam in on the pressure. So Rashad Elam is on the right end. Technically left end when you look at it from their position. He did almost get to Gilligan, and there he goes again, and this time he hit him. Oh my goodness, DeMarquez Clark, gain of 9, but Gilligan getting laid out after the hit. No flags. Bit of a unique situation there. No roughing the passer in this league. 3rd and 1, DeMarquez Clark in the back. This could be a first down. It is. Clark, oh my goodness, massive step to the left to be able to get away from that. Nate Rivers now coming in. So OKC avoiding the punt, and now Nate Rivers is actually sent to the sidelines. Gilligan would rather have a 4 wide receiver, 1 tight end set. So he motions Ivy, the wide receiver, to the right. Gilligan throwing over the middle. Ooh, number 24, Trey Edwards, the defensive back for Louisville, in on that stop. A near interception. Brandon Gilligan, 1 of 3, 9 yards. Gilligan under center. Nate Rivers in the back. Back to pass. 4-man rush. Rashad Elam hitting him as he goes. Valentine, gain of 11. You can definitely see Gilligan trying to hold his own in that very last frame of the camera that we got there. Rashad Elam, my goodness, an absolute monster. Has gotten to Gilligan 3 times so far. Not with the ball, as Ivy gets the reception, taken down just ahead of a 2-yard gain. Rashad Elam making his presence known, and if Gilligan holds this ball any longer, this Louisville D-line, mostly Rashad Elam, could see a sack or 3. Clark back in, motions the tight end to the inside. Pitches to Clark. Clark got a lot of room to run. Gain of 9, so that'll be 1st and 10. Number 27 in at the stop, and of course that is free safety Sean Penley, the punt return man. DeMarquez Clark, 2 for 17, 1 for 9. Oh my goodness, Clark getting just destroyed. Rashad Elam with the TFL. That sophomore slump not coming for Elam. Already 3 pressures on the quarterback and a TFL. Unfortunately, they will not show pressures in this game, so Nate Rivers off to the right, taken down. Gain of 3 yards, so it's now 3rd and 9. So Nate, I'll just say Rate Rivers. Definitely an interesting name if you name your kid Rate, like a car insurance rate. So Gilligan now motioning 13 out to the left. Gilligan back to pass, going to throw to him easy over the middle. Oh my goodness, number 87 unable to come down with that. That is Tayshawn Richardson, their 3rd wide receiver. And they will now go for a kick from the 36. Visconti, it's up. Oh my goodness, it's just barely in. 53-yard field goal doinks on the inside. 1st and 10. From the 35. How far will this kick go? We shall see. Visconti booting it to the end zone. Oh, my goodness. Got a leg on him. Griffin with the return. Ooh, just shy of the 20-yard line. They will mark him at the 20-yard line, so Louisville will not lose anything in the hidden yardage game. Jake Britton under center. Wallace in the backfield. Offensive line pretty good so far. We'll see if it can hold up against this OKC front seven. And oh my goodness, Louisville going empty backfield. Britton back to pass. He's got all day. He's going for a one-on-one. Oh my goodness. I think that was number 27. Who was that for Oklahoma City? I am unable to find them. That looked like a 7. Could have been a 2. Could have been Ethan Simoneau on that stop. Mr. Elijah Griffin unable to come down with that one. Go. Britton motions out. The running back out. Oh my goodness, they're going to throw it. Oh, wow. So a potential situation of a play action over the middle. Easy 6 to 7 yard completion. The running back continues the route. Doesn't look to stop. And now they're forced with a 3rd and 10. Hands off to the fullback. I don't really know if you want to call a fullback run at 10 yards away, but 4th and 6 now. So Louisville will now punt. So the concepts are there. The ideas are there. If you can just now get the plays and the execution, Louisville could definitely be striving for a massive, massive offensive drive. OKC now at the 38-yard line, just about 12 yards short of the 50. It's Gilligan under center, Clark in the back, trips to the right, but he will motion the man out to the left. That is Richardson, the wide receiver. Gilligan back to pass. Off to Richardson, the man who was in motion. Now he goes out of bounds. So they'll stop the clock. 2nd and 4 at the 44. So once again, trips to the right, Clark in the back. Motion number 15 to the inside. Hands off to Clark. Clark gets hit. He evades the tackle and gains 9 yards. So what should have been an easy TFL for Louisville falls short, and instead it's a gain of 9. Clark in the backfield. Off to Clark. Clark trying to get around, unable to. He's taken down after a gain of 1. So now Nate Rivers will come in. Nate Rivers, a 2-year experienced player, but the drop-off is immense in the running back room. DeMarcus Clark 5 for 24, 1 for 1 on 9 yards. Nate, loss of 4. So this OKC team really desperately needs another option at the running back room. It's a massive fall off. There is Gilligan. Oh my gosh, being hit by Rashad Elam while he's throwing, and the O-line was thrown into him as well. My goodness, Rashad Elam a problem for this OKC offensive line. The difference between Nate Rivers and DeMarcus Clark is that of a starting position, and this could be the greatest punt I've ever seen in my life. We'll see. Where will they mark it down? Oh, my goodness. He didn't get it in time. 1st and 10 to the 20. Louisville escapes absolute death. That would have been the greatest coffin corner punt ever. Wallace off to the left. Wallace has green. Wallace gain of 11. So now Louisville counting their blessings. That should have been a inch line punt. Instead, it's a 20-yard touchback. It's Wallace in the backfield, 1st and 10. Britton motioning number 7 on the inside. Hands off to Wallace. Wallace has got room again, and this time he's chopped down in the legs. Gain of 8. Jarvis Malone now coming in. So as I was trying to state earlier before that coffin punt hit, Nate Rivers would not start on any team. That is the massive drop-off. There is not even a potential for a start. He probably wouldn't even be a second running back for a majority of teams as Malone off to the left, charging forward, gain of 4. Scooter Wallace now coming in. Elijah Lockett subbing in for Tristan Bullock. And this is not to be mean to Oklahoma City. I mean, this is just how it is, right? When you set your team up and you kind of set this up in a way for the running back room to be a one-man army, you run into the risk of, if DeMarcus Clark does get injured, you don't have a running game. As Wallace off to the right, he fumbles, but Shakir Burns with the recovery, gain of 11 yards. The Virginia Beach Mariners trade already producing. Wow. 1st and 10. Fakes to Malone. Oh my goodness, the running back picks up the crucial block, and Byrne gets the 4-yard gain, which should have been a 6-yard loss, turns into a 4-yard gain. Wow, that is going to be some great footage for everyone to look at in the, of course, in the film room tomorrow. So once again, play action, going to launch it over. Wallace with a great catch, gain of 9. A lot of running backs are going to be taught that play that we just saw 2 plays ago, where the running back gets the handoff and just throws his body into the defender. Do not let the quarterback get hit. It's Britton. Defender's in his face, launching it. Oh, my goodness, number 87. I believe that was the tight end. And that was the wide receiver, Jamarcus Golden. But he ran like a tight end, but he's a lot faster than that. So that's a bit confusing. Britton back to pass. Pressure. Hit as he throws. Shakir Burns, touchdown. Oh, my goodness. Jake Britton Burns. Wow. 3 of 6, 46 yards, 1 touchdown. Not the sexiest stat line, but hey, whatever gets you points. PAT is good. I just want to go ahead and one day we'll get the ability to kind of look back on plays eventually. I would love to John Madden that. And Jake Britton, right, coming from Raleigh, getting a lot of flack for the performance that he put up last year. He's traded. He goes to Louisville. Louisville says, hey, this is your team. Come on in here. We got Shakir Burns for you, one of the best wide receivers in the league. And he eats the hit from the defensive tackle, throwing off platform to Shakir Burns as he toe taps out of bounds. Incredible. Gilligan back to pass. He's taken down. Loss of 5. This time it's Harrington. Wow. Tavon Harrington, the second defensive tackle. Rashad Elam not even anywhere near the pressure for that one. It's DeMarquez Clark now. Gain of 1 yard. 3rd and 15. Wow, this Louisville team can turn the heat up fast. Touchdown, sack, and no gain on the run play. Gilligan pitches to Clark. Clark off to the right. Clark, ooh, diving forward. Gain of 5. Nate Rivers now will sub in. This will be a punt, and Louisville now in the driver's seat. And things have gone from casual to very scary for Oklahoma City. As the punt is away. And Penley will return, taken down just ahead of the 25. Apologies, not the 25, as I looked up to just go ahead and glance at it. I was trying to figure out, is it the 45? Is it the 35? Was looking backwards. But no, it is the 35. So Britton and company take over at the 35. Can they do what they did last time? We will see. OKC, one of the best front sevens. 5-man rush. Britton pressure in his face. Throws it as he goes. Off to Leggett. Gain of 12 yards. Where was this Britton all season long for Raleigh? Wow. Absolute immense playmaking capabilities here. This is Britton back to pass. 4-man rush, got a spy. Off to Burns. Burns taken down. Gain of 4 yards. 2nd and 6. Whenever you can have a quarterback who sees not 1, but 2 defenders sprinting towards him, and he throws off platform to a wide receiver and completes it, oh man, you cannot put that into any sort of price. As Britton hit as he throws off to, oh my goodness, off again. Was aiming for, once again, Shakir Burns. That could be their new hookup. Elijah Griffin yet to see a target so far, I do believe. As Britton and Wallace, 3rd and 6. Here we go. 4-man rush, pressure in his face. That'll be deflected down. That was Milton Leggett. And Milton Leggett, oh no, got hit with a neck injury, not expected to return. Best case scenario, this was just a simple bruise and he's hurt. Worst case scenario, this could be a 3 to 6 month injury. Gilligan now back to pass. And of course, if I'm Louisville, I'd look into how that play conformed. I'd look at what happened, right? Anytime you see a player go down with an injury and it's looking a bit suspicious, you might want to look into it. Obviously, nothing will more than likely happen. A lot of these players simply play to play the game. DeMarquez Clark with lots of green, charging forward, gain of 12. But when you see a play like that, you get a little bit worried. Start to wonder if players are truly here for the game or if they're being paid to take some star players out. Milton Leggett, the 3rd wide receiver for Louisville, one of the stars in the league. Now Jamarcus Golden will take over at that position. And it is a massive drop-off in conceived talent at that depth chart as DeMarquez Clark, a massive 8-yard run, 2nd and 2. So Gilligan under center. Nate Rivers in the back. Rivers charging forward. Enough space to get the first down. Gain of 5, and they'll bring back Clark. Yeah, it's almost night and day between the speed of the receivers for the top 3, like Milton Leggett and Jamarcus Golden and the rest. Now, of course, Kevon Taylor, a rookie, has some incredible speed as DeMarquez Clark, incredible sidestep, 5-yard gain. But, of course, that would be, of course, up to how the owner of the Louisville Kings would like to try to proceed with this one. So DeMarquez Clark, 10 for 55. Gilligan back to pass, pressure in his face, off platform. Nate Rivers, gain of 6. Gilligan trying to showcase that he too can make those plays that Jake Britton was making. Nate Rivers, 3 for 4, 1 for 6. Gilligan gonna motion the man to the left. Pitches out to Rivers. Rivers taken down. Gain of 6. So it'll be 2nd and 4. OKC slowly driving. Gilligan under center. Clark in the backfield. He will motion the man to the inside. That's number 88. He's going to fake the handoff. Gilligan with Rashad Elam not but 2 inches away from his face. That has got to be the most intimidating thing you've probably seen, is a defensive end like Rashad Elam just right in your face being held onto by an offensive lineman, praying that they don't get to you. Nate Rivers taken down after a gain of 1. DeMarquez Clark will now come in. And I'm telling you right now, if OKC gets down to Pierre Fortune, it might be over. It might be over. Gilligan back to pass, got pressure, hit as he throws away. 3rd and 9. Now I do want to say one thing. Clearly, these players are of incredible speed, right? I don't mean to doubt them. Nate Rivers clocked in at 87. Pierre Fortune at a 89. So we'll see how that goes. Gilligan back to pass, 4-man rush. Oh my goodness! Oh, swatted away. Number 24 wanted the interception. OKC will be forced to kick a field goal here. Brandon Gilligan, 7 of 13, 49 yards. 4th and 9, here we go. Gilligan gets the snap. Visconti kicks. It is good. 40-yard field goal. Notches a 3-point for OKC, and it'll now be 7-6. So 2nd quarter, 4 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. Lots of time for things to happen in this first half. Louisville, last time they played, they lost their 3rd wide receiver, so we'll see how this goes. When you lose a game breaker like that, and of course the guy who is making some plays as well, it becomes difficult. So we're going to see how this goes. They do have Wallace in the backfield. They could rely on the run game. So they will motion Meyer, the tie down to the left. Hands off to Wallace. Oh my goodness, 96. Wow, Mr. Riley. Jason Riley, the 2nd defensive tackle. Absolutely blowing that play up. 2nd and 10. Pitches out to Wallace. Wallace has some blocks. Wallace falling forward. Gain of 7. 3rd and 3. Jarvis Malone now comes in. So now for Louisville, they got to rely on Mr. Jarvis Malone to get this first down. Handoff to the fullback. Oh, I don't know if that was the play. Loss of 1. 4th and 3. Not exactly the play I would pull. Their fullback, Chris Murray, although one of the higher-end rated fullbacks, it's not exactly the fastest of the fullbacks. So that is now another punt. OKC, if not Lizenby. If not for the first 2 field goals, this would be a bit of a daunting task, but they have gone down and they have scored twice, albeit field goals. So if they just score 1 field goal, they will pull ahead. This Louisville offense still kind of struggling from the loss of Leggett, as Clark with a great toe-tapping catch, 6-yard gain, 2nd and 4. And you really gotta hope that there is a situation where Leggett is able to return within less than 4 weeks. Gilligan back to pass, 4-man rush, off to Richardson. He'll get a gain of 6 yards. So it'll be 1st and 10. We are getting closer and closer to the dreaded 2-minute warning. Gilligan under center, Clark in the back. Hands off to Clark. Clark throws one tackler off, charging forward, gain of 7. So this will bring us to the 2-minute warning now. They will drain the clock down. So 2nd and 3, we'll get to a pass play here after this. No, they will stop at the 5-second mark, snap it with 2 seconds left. Nate Rivers, oh, gain of 3, 2-minute warning, but it might be 3rd and inches. It is. So if the 2-minute warning takes over, and it will, so it's a 5 wide receiver set. This could be a major play. He's got a wide open man, Edwards. So that will pay off. The 2-minute warning does not strike yet. But that 3rd and inches could have been a crucial drive killer had they not gotten the pass off. Minute 43 left. Gilligan back to pass. 4-man rush. Oh my goodness, he almost had that. Triple coverage to the right, of course. 2nd and 10, a minute 39. Gilligan, Clark in the back. Gilligan will motion number 15 to the inside, Mr. Edwards. Gilligan throwing over. Oh, my goodness. Unable to come down with a 3rd and 10, so only 3 seconds taken off the clock there. Brandon Gilligan, 10 of 18 for 69 yards. Very nice. Gilligan motioning Edwards again. Does not hand off to the running back. Instead, chooses to throw into quadruple coverage. So a bit of an interesting take there. 4th and 10, so this will be another field goal. So now they'll try this one from the 38-yard line. It's Visconti. It's up. It could be good. It's barely good. 55-yarder just squeezes through at the bottom of the bar. Visconti, possibly the offensive MVP for OKC. As Visconti kicking it. Mr. Elijah Griffin will return. So a little bit ahead of the 20-yard line, so they'll mark him down to the 21. So Louisville now with another shot. It is a 2-minute warning, though, so however, I do want to preface that this could be a situation where these teams pass the ball and then run it. So they will. Britton back to pass. Launching it, and I think that's a bit inhuman for the DB to be able to do that. That's a bit ridiculous, but fair enough. Britton, Wallace in the back. Just going to motion number 87 out to the right. That is Golden, the wide receiver. New wide receiver 3. Britton launching it. Caught by Shakir Burns, so gain of 17 yards. So now Burns will inadvertently potentially become the number 1 target here. Despite Elijah Griffin being wide receiver 1 in the depth chart. He could also be an AB Juju Brown situation. Britton off to Griffin, and Elijah Griffin gain of 24 yards as we talk about him. So, of course, an all-out blitz. That did not help OKC at all. Britton back to pass. Man in his face. Oh, swatted away. And luckily for Britton, that would have been a wide open pick 6 for that interception. Had plenty of blockers in front, but his buddy came in, swatted the play down. Britton, defender in his face. Oh, now they're trying to go for the interception. Dropped at the point of contact. So now it's 3rd and 10. And Louisville could do the funniest thing here by running the football. They will not. Going to throw left, and Elijah Griffin absolutely just mossing 2 men at the 15-yard line. No timeouts. This is a bit interesting. Here we go. Britton back to pass. 4-man rush. Oh, man, that could have been intercepted. I was waiting for them to dive for it, pick it off, and end Louisville's drive here, but unfortunately, the 2-minute warning is alive and very well, so they will not run it despite being inside the 20-yard line. So Britton back to pass, pressure in his face, throwing it to Burns. Burns gains 8 yards, and this will be a timeout here. It is 25 seconds left. So they've got about 1.5 yards. They'll say 3rd and 2. Shakir Burns, 5 for 7 on 66. My goodness. Go! Britton back to pass, 4-man rush. Wow, the linebacker was running the very route that he was throwing to. My goodness. Jake Britton. It's under 50%. It's not a great stat line, but you are winning. Is Dutcher. Oh, my. He shanked it. He shanked the field goal. Dutcher misses the field goal to put Louisville up 1. OKC's probably going to throw this and burn the clock. Gilligan, 4-man rush. Ooh, Louisville going for that interception. They're really hoping to get their kicker another shot. And, of course, OKC will gladly oblige. The 2-minute warning is crucial for a lot of teams' failures, obviously. It's Gilligan, 4-man rush, throwing to Turner. Turner gets the 29-yard gain, and there will not be another field goal attempt. This will be the end of the first half as we know it. OKC up to 9-7. So now Louisville will get the ball back. This is very helpful for Louisville. That field goal would have done them wonders, being up 10-9. Could have been able to put up 13. And then potentially 17 is Griffin diving forward at the 21-yard line. So Britton, Wallace, no more 2-minute warning. Back to the normal play calling. 5-man rush. Everyone's blocked up. I have no clue what I just saw from number 55. That should not physically, humanly be possible. He literally just glided about 4 feet in the air effortlessly as Scooter Wallace now trying to make something out of nothing, gain of 1. I think there is definitely something here that needs to be looked at and removed, because that is ridiculous. That is should not be possible. Wallace taken down, no gain, so that'll end Louisville's drive. Jarvis Malone subbing in. OKC's defense stepping up the top front 7, showing why they're feared across the league. So now the punt is away, 4th and 7. Unfortunate for Louisville. Lisenby, was going for a shot, but of course number 11, Elijah, taking him down. OKC now, starting at the 39, 1st and 10. Back to pass, Gilligan is 4-man rush, and he's throwing into triple coverage, my goodness. Another would-be interception dropped by the defense. Brandon Gilligan hovering just at 50%. This could get very interesting. Gilligan back to pass, gonna launch it deep. Oh my goodness, unable to come down with it. Number 88. And that might be, who would that be? Let's see. Try to get the sheet up for myself. Adrian Turner, the man, the myth, the legend today, throwing it again, and Jamal Edwards now with a 34-yard gain. OKC now back in business. Gilligan motions the man to the inside. That is Edwards. Clark in the back, pitches to Clark. Clark's got a lot of green room, taking down number 27 with a crucial stop there. 9-yard gain, 2nd and 1. DeMarquez Clark, 12 for 71, 3 for 24 on just 4 targets. Gilligan hands off to Clark. Clark has all the room and the space, gain of 5 yards. Nate Rivers in for DeMarquez Clark now. 1st and 10. OKC looking to finally get their first score of the day. So motion number 87 out to the right. Gilligan pitches to Rivers. Rivers, a lot of green. Taken down after a gain of 4. So DeMarquez Clark now will come in. Nate Rivers, 7 of 18, 1 for 6 on 1 target. Gilligan hands off to Clark. Clark, a lot of room, shoving tacklers off, but unfortunately ran into the teeth of the defense. Avery Bateman now coming in for Charles Thurston. Not exactly something you want to see if you're on the defensive line for OKC. You need all your starters for this one. Is Rivers off to the right. Rivers, there's a flag, though. Gain of 9. We'll see what this does. It's a holding against John. I don't know how to pronounce that. So a first down and almost touchdown by Nate Rivers will not be held up. DeMarquez Clark now. Pitching out to the left. Clark could get, oh my goodness, no, he's not fast enough. 27 with the stop. And OKC once again stuck to a field goal. So now, if they make this, it'll be 12. But we did see someone shank a 24-yard field goal, so we shall see. Visconti. And who's doubting Mr. Visconti? Absolutely no one. 34-yard field goal is good. So now OKC pulls ahead just slightly, 5 points. Not exactly the blowout game that we were promised by the analysts. It's Griffin now, trying to evade, always getting past the 20-yard line. If Louisville didn't lose their third wide receiver, they definitely would be able to get a little bit more assistance here. So Wallace now in the back. Motions number 84, Meyer, out to the right. Back to pass. Four-man rush, got coverage all day. Wallace, gain of 9. I think that was probably the most sound play I've seen from Louisville all day. Not a defender in sight, not a rusher in sight. It's Jake Britton now over 50%. Hands off to Wallace. Wallace with the evasion of the tackle. Gain of 6 yards. 1st and 10, Jarvis Malone. It should have been loss of 3. Instead, he absolutely ducks under the defensive tackle, gets the 1st down. Britton now motioning the man to the inside. That is Burns. Back to pass, 5-man rush. Ooh, the running back. Gain of 9. And I have no clue who picked up that block on the right side, but if you rewatch that play, someone came in, blocked the would-be sack, and led to a 1st down. Britton got all sorts of time. It's intercepted by Tompkins. Wow. The defensive lineman gets the interception. Oh, my. Wow. I apologize. Darian Tompkins is actually a linebacker. In the play art, they don't really discern. So when you do a 6-man front, Axis will put the circles, and they will be defensive linemen. They will not be linebackers. So I was assuming in that dropped coverage it was a defensive lineman, but no, it was the middle linebacker, Darian Tompkins. Clark with the rush, gain of 3 yards. So it seems as though OKC finally realized there's a lot of short passes, drop-offs, shallow routes coming across to the outsides. Dropped some coverage in there. Automatic interception. Clark off with a 1st down. No, he's just shy. Going to be 3rd and 1. Nate Rivers now coming in. So we'll see what OKC does here. They could be up by 8 points if they go ahead and get this field goal. Of course, they want a touchdown. Gain of 6, Nate Rivers, 1st and 10. And oh my goodness, unfortunate hand injury to Granderson, the offensive lineman. So that is their left guard. DeMarquez Clark charging forward but losing 1. So in place of him, it will either be Kwame Jackson, number 76, and it is. So now that I can see that, it is. So Kwame Jackson will be taking over for Braylon Granderson. Hands off to Nate Rivers. Rivers loss of 3. Now what's funny here is that somehow Granderson is all but better in the discipline area and the fitness area. But across the board stat-wise, like if we were to measure blocking, run block, pass block, Kwame is way better. It's only by, we'd grade it, on a scale of 1 to 99. We'd say he's like an 80 to a 79, but still, as Wisconsin kicks this one through, so now Louisville needs 8 points. So the young, 1-yeared sophomore breaks his hand. In comes Kwame, the 28-year-old, 6-year experienced veteran, who will step up where he can. As Elijah Griffin charging forward, taken down, again, past the 20-yard line. So again, if Louisville could just find the offensive purpose here, find a way to get over the hump of losing their 3rd wide receiver. They have a lot of great starting positions. Jake Britton, wide open, man down the middle. And that is dropped. That was 84, the tight end, Brett Meyer. Sorry, that is Mayer, not Meyer. So Mayer with the dropped pass. So that'll set Britton to 50%. Britton back to pass. It's a scrum. Oh, number 11, Elijah, unable to come down with it. So that'll be 3rd and 10. So go ahead and take a look at this setup. Elijah Griffin on the attempted 2v1 again. Four-man rush. He's going to throw the out route again. Shakir Burns, gain of 7, but that is not going to be enough. That'll be a punt. So OKC now will get the ball back, potentially for another field goal. So Louisville, the loss of Milton Leggett cannot be understated enough. This would be the equivalent to OKC losing DeMarquez Clark as Lisenby gets taken down by Elijah Griffin. And it's a very unique situation because a lot of people will say, well, you still have Elijah and you still have Shakir. Yes, that's true. But your third wide receiver sometimes can be a lot of the times... Sorry, let me rephrase that. As Gilligan hit by Rashad Elam as he throws, gain of 8 yards. A lot of the time, as we enter the third quarter, and linebacker, oh my goodness, Mr. Green. Who is that? Curtis Green, their second outside linebacker, not expected to return. So Trevon Hobson will go ahead and take over for him, unless they decide to move Matthew Long over there. It's Gilligan back to pass, four-man rush. He's got a wide open man, but the defense closes immediately. If he had just pulled the trigger a bit sooner, would have been a massive, massive gain. A lot of the time, your third wide receiver will be usually the last check down option. Clark off to the left. Can he do it? He evades. He does. Oh, I don't know if I like that. Number 78. Ooh, block in the back. They will not call it, but I don't know if I like that at all. The center with a illegal block to the back. OKC, of course, will continue the drive. So Nate Rivers now off to the right. Taken down, gain of 5. 2nd and 5. DeMarquez Clark now coming in. So for a lot of teams, you know, your third wide receiver sometimes gets the ball more times than you think, and that's because your first and second wide receiver are dealing with the best talent. Gilligan hit from behind. Clark, incredible snatch, gain of 8 yards. 1st and 10, Nate Rivers now. Brandon Gilligan. I mean, this has got to be the most pressured quarterback all season. I know we're only 3 games in, so it's an easy record to hold, but Nate Rivers off to the right. Nate Rivers first down, gain of 11. When you've got Rashad Elam, you've got Michael Varnado, you've got Charles Thurston and Tavon Harrington coming in and just all over you every play. Man, Gilligan able to step up and make plays. Jamal Edwards, gain of 5. It'll now be 2nd and 5. So we hit near the 8-minute mark left in the game. And, of course, OKC looking up to go 2 scores. Gilligan will motion the man to the inside. From the left to the right of the inside. Clark with room. Oh, my goodness. Great play. Number 79 coming in for a massive block to stop the double-team tackle. 1st and 10 of the 23. OKC driving. There is a flag. False start against Kevin Drysdale, the offensive lineman. And, of course, as we all know, the right tackle, Mr. Kevin Drysdale. He is 32 years old, so he is a bit on the older side. I do believe he's the oldest on the offensive line, so you would expect better, but, you know, you get a little butterfly and jittery when you're about to score a touchdown, potentially. Gilligan hit as he throws. Ooh. This time he's unable to connect. I think Gilligan's definitely going to need an ice pack, an ice bath. You're going to need everything under the sun to get better after this game. 16 of 30, but he's been getting hit, and this time he is. Taken down, loss of 3. That'll be Mr. Wilkins. And that, oh my goodness, that is the middle linebacker, Randy Wilkins. Making a play as Clark off to the left. Clark stiff arming, taken down, loss of 2. It's now 4th and 20. And OKC once again will go for a field goal. So if Louisville has anything to come away from this game, right? The game's not over, but still. You still have to think about measurements. Oh, my God. 50-yard field goal is good. Oof. Wisconsin just giving everyone in OKC a heart attack. If you have to look at one thing positive, it's that Louisville clamps up really hard in the red zone. And once you get inside that 30 especially, not even the red zone, the 30, Louisville's defense goes from letting a lot of yards up, possibly a bottom, I'd say maybe 15 team of defense, to they clamp you up and you only get a field goal. Now, of course, it is on OKC to continue getting those field goals, not turning the ball over. But for Louisville, the offense definitely going to need that third wide receiver back, maybe some new additions. Britton back to pass, 4-man rush, got a spy up, thrown to triple coverage. Elijah Griffin unable to come down with that one, didn't even get near him. You got to figure some things out for this game. You got to look back in the mirror, figure out how long Leggett is going to be gone, and hope that you can find either a replacement or a new way to get through this offense. As they throw it left to Wallace, gain of 10 yards. That might be short, though. No, they'll say it's a first down, so 1st and 10. And again, this game is not over. Never is over, as we saw from Tucson and Albuquerque. But again, you still got to know the messages, the learning. This Wallace off to the left. Wallace with a great block from number 33, gain of 12 yards. I think if I'm Louisville, I would position myself more to a run team. Wallace, 9 for 46. This is definitely a great game for Mr. Scooter Wallace. As he hands off to Wallace. Wallace diving forward, gain of 3. And I get it, right? The wide receiver's a little bit better, but hey, you know, maybe you might want to look into potentially moving to a more run-oriented style, right? 60-50. Okay, that's not even math. 60-40. At the time, I'd said that I'd envisioned the NCAA football graphic, you know, where you start making your head coach for your dynasty. And I had seen the 50-50. And then as I slid it over in my head, I still saw the 50. And then I saw the 60. And that's how that came out. So Murray, the fullback, an interesting choice. I think I would have just pitched it out to the running back at that point. So Louisville, 4th down territory here. I don't know why you would have done that then. But fair enough. Here we go. They're on their last stand here. This could be the play. Lots of rushers into triple coverage. So Tyrell Augustine now will take over for Jonathan Pridgeon. On the bench, of course, because the offense is here. Gilligan will motion the man from the left to the far right. Go! Gilligan back to pass. 4-man rush. He's got all day to Edwards. Edwards taken down, gain of 4. 2nd and 6. So this is a bit of an interesting situation for Louisville. You've not given up a touchdown, but you're giving up a lot of field goals. You've given up 5 field goals so far today. Defense heavy bunch to the right. My goodness. Play action and somehow gets out of it. Are you kidding me? DeMarquez Clark. 1st down. Wow. I don't think the defensive line was ready for that one. I don't know. Like, I guess they thought he didn't have the ball anymore. I don't know what happened there. Gilligan, 17-yard pass gain, but now Clark going to lose 3 yards. So once again, once you get inside the 30-yard line, Louisville will just stuff every play and make sure you only get a field goal so far. Gilligan back to pass, pressure in his face. Ivy, first time we've called his name since, I believe, the first half. DeMarquez Clark now subbing in. 2-minute warning is hit. So this could be the potential, and it is a 2-minute warning curse potentially. We're going to see. Here we go. Gilligan motion the man out to the left. Number 14. Back to pass, 4-man rush, caught by Adrian Turner, 23 yards. Louisville calls their first timeout. This could be the first ever score. Brandon Gilligan, 20 for 34, 215 yards. Clark in the backfield. Here we go, hands off to Clark. Clark walks it in. It only took 3 quarters and 8 minutes and 8 seconds. But OKC finally scored their first touchdown. Visconti kicking the field goal. PAT is good. So there's definitely going to be some things the OKC owner looks back on, thinks about. A lot of words that were put out, a lot of hype, a lot of media put out there. And Louisville, a reminder, Louisville's a dark horse team, as Elijah Griffin pushing forward. Just shy of the 20, it's going to look like. So Louisville is not exactly a measuring stick team. And I know this is going to kind of seem as if I'm making OKC seem like they're not doing well. They are, right? You got to play every team, win every game. False start against Elijah Griffin. But at the same time, if you want your team to do well, you're really going to have to figure out how to stop teams like Louisville, where they don't have much of a secondary. They have 4 rushers on the defensive line, and that's about it. So Britton back to pass, going to launch it into triple coverage. And you really got to think about, okay, so we've got DeMarquez Clark, but if we lose DeMarquez Clark, we don't really have a running back room. So how do we figure this out? So it's going to be a lot of things for OKC to look in the mirror about. I would say, obviously, Shakir Burns, just an incredible athlete. My goodness, what a catch. I would say, obviously, that I think OKC is going to be happy and excited to start 1-0. Every game matters for teams like OKC, who are in the playoff hunt. Jake Britton launches it to Shakir Burns again. Gain of 19 yards. So now Douglas, another neck injury, not expected to return. So there's definitely some interesting things going down on this field between the Louisville offense and the OKC defense. And if you have my opinion about it, I think if we see more neck injuries coming through in these OKC games against opposing teams, I do think there will probably have to be a look into things on what exactly is going on. 2 neck injuries is a bit unique. Neck injuries are hard to sustain in the game of football nowadays. They've done a lot of things to prevent that from occurring. We've got 2 of them now, so we're going to see how this works out. Going to see how this plays out for the rest of the season for both these teams. So Britton back to pass. Looking, going to throw into double coverage. Ooh, Shakir Burns to the hands of Shakir Burns. So Louisville, unfortunately, will not be getting 5 points for a victory. They will not be getting 5 points for a shutout. But they will be getting, I believe, around 2 points. So 2 points as that's intercepted. Simon O. 4th and 10. Now a 1st and 10 for OKC. Oklahoma City is going to kneel this one out. We're going to end this game here. Once again, OKC with the victory. This will become clutch in the later season. Every win matters. Louisville, a dark horse team, doing as best as they can without their 3rd wide receiver and basically no secondary to speak of this game. OKC going to move on. 1-0. Louisville 0-1. Rashad Elam, possibly the greatest F-the-play-up player I've ever seen in my life. Marquez Clark, Brandon Gilligan making plays occur all over the field. Adrian Turner, their big play wide receiver, making statements today. And that is the end of the game. DeMarquez Clark, the running back, 24 for 98, 1 touchdown defensively. J.R. Lisenby, 1 forced fumble, 4 tackles, 4 pass deflections. We'll look at the stats. Of course, Brandon Gilligan, 20 of 34, 215 yards. Jake Britton fell under 50%, had 2 interceptions. So it's going to be a rough day in the office to kind of look back and evaluate this player. Is it the defense? Is it the player? Look at the game stats over here. Louisville, Shakir Burns, 8 for 112 yards and 1 touchdown. Mr. Harris, the linebacker, 2 TFLs, 11 tackles, 1 pass deflection. And of course, when we look at the team leaders over here, 77 rating for Gilligan, 50 for Mr. Britton. And of course, you can see just the outstanding compatibility for Clark, Edwards, and Turner. Burns, Griffin, and Wallace. And once again, missing your 3rd wide receiver is not very helpful. When we look at the team stats over here, 77 plays to 52. That'll definitely do it. 39 to 15 rush plays. So Louisville is going to have to take a look in the mirror, potentially adjust some of their play calling. OKC, a very balanced attack. Louisville, not at all. Total yards, 338 to 268. Rush yards, clobbering Louisville. Passing yards, about even. Sacks, Louisville got 2. Turnovers, unfortunately, Louisville lost the turnover battle, and that's how you lose the game. Before we move on to individualized stats, let's take a look at this screen right here. When you look at it, all Louisville needed to do was score a touchdown and a field goal, and they would have won the game until the 4th quarter. So there's some positives here. You can stop a team to 4 field goals in 2 quarters, 1 field goal in the 1st, but the 4th quarter comes around, looks like you're gassed. Obviously not a lot of offensive power to help stave off the defense, and that's where you go. So Louisville, of course, 211 yards for Mr. Britton, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. 4.9 average, 1.3 average, and 2-point average. Of course, the running backs over there, the wide receivers here, Shakir Burns, obviously headlining everything there. Tackles, Jonte Harris with 11. Sacks is Tavon Harrington and Randy Wilkins. Interceptions, nobody. TFL's Jonte Harris. Deflected passes, Sam Brown making a name for himself out there. Forced fumbles, recoveries, none. Punt returns, Sean Penley had 1 punt return all game. Unfortunate. Elijah Griffin had 8 kick returns, so he's already a 5th of the way there to my earlier statement of just returning the kicks all day, every day. Kicking-wise, 0 field goals made, 1 attempted by Mr. David Dutcher. Extra point made, extra point attempted. 5 punts, 0 in the 20, 1 in the touchback. And, of course, OKC, we got to look at Brandon Gilligan, 59%, 215 yards, 24 attempts, 98 yards, and 1 touchdown, 4.1 and 3.4 average, respectively. A lot of evened out passes in the OKC offense. Then you look at the defense over here. And when you look at the sack over here, nobody but 2 interceptions. Darian Tompkins, the middle linebacker, and Ethan Simoneau. Ethan Simoneau is more of a garbage time interception. But again, this will count for him. This will be a stat. Jason Riley and Tyrell Augustine with TFLs. Deflected passes, Thaddeus Benson, Tristan Bullock, and J.R. Lisenby all racking up 4 apiece, with Lisenby adding a forced fumble in there. So this OKC defensive secondary not to be messed with. Punt return, 4 for Lisenby. 0 kick returns for Jamal Edwards. Interesting. Joey Visconti, 6 field goals, 6 made and attempted, 1 extra point, 2 punts, 1 inside the end zone. Well, that'll be all for this game, ladies and gentlemen. Hope to see you all next time as we go ahead and we move on to the San Antonio and the Austin game as the 4th game of today. I will see you all next week. Later.